Whoa, I love being part ghost. Hello everyone, my name is Nico Me, and y'all better buy. Back in Ghostland, the supernatural is taking me over. Y'all better buy Return of Samus immediately when it comes out. It better come out in the millions. It better get near Pokemon sales. Now let me tell you why, okay? I know it seems rough because it is a 3DS game and y'all are probably moving on to your Nintendo Switches, but let me tell you how important this is. The official makers of Metroid have come out to say on shinesparkers.net that the fate of the 2D Metroid series, I guess you could call it a sub-series, is in the hands of Samus Returns. That's the name of the game, sorry. Samus Returns, okay? Everyone go out and buy it, because if this sells well, you can expect a Nintendo Switch version of a 2D Metroid game. And I cannot wait. I don't care if it's a remaster even. It's probably going to be, it'd probably be a new title, but 2D Metroid is so great, and the fact that if this sells well, I see them putting tons of time and tons of work into Samus 2D once Metroid Prime 4 is officially done and released and all that. So, okay, so we're going to read this together. It's going to be a nice little library session. I'm the teacher, you're the student. Everyone sit down, okay? I'm going to pretend these are my students, okay? Everyone is sitting around the field, and we are ready to talk about the Nintendo Switch versus 2D Metroid. Okay, the future of classic Metroid rests on the support of consumers, according to September 2017 issue of Game Informer magazine. In an article with series producer Yoshio Sakamoto, Sakamoto-san expresses he would love to work on another 2D Metroid title, but it comes down to whether or not fans will be willing to buy Metroid Samus Returns. As awesome as this sounds, I would like to say, Sakamoto, if you're listening, I know you're not, but if you are listening, a lot of people, I mean, the 3DS has been out for like forever now. It's been like 6-7 years. If it doesn't sell well, it's because people know Samus is returning on the Nintendo Switch in the form of Metroid Prime 4. So a lot of people may be like, why would I buy the new 3DS version if I could just get the Switch one in a year or two, right? So that might be a reason why people don't buy it. Also, that many people don't touch their 3DSs as much now because of the Switch and going through different consoles. You know the drill. So hopefully it does so well, and I'm encouraging everyone to buy this game when it comes out, because this is great news, and I really see if it sells really well, hopefully it does really well in Japan, Europe, and America, that they really work hard on a 2D Samus. If not, even a remaster would be really nice. So here's the quote. "Through the development of Metroid Samus Returns, I was able to really grasp the possibility and fun of 2D Metroid. Like when I finished the first game, if there is another opportunity to make another Metroid, there is something that I would love to do. That was something I would love to do. Of course, that really depends on how much people really want to buy a 2D Metroid. So I really would like to say that even if it doesn't sell well, I think that people really still want this. I think you'll find millions of people who would buy a 2D Samus in Samus Returns 2 or Samus Returns for Nintendo Switch, or just another 2D Metroid game, whatever you want to call it. Whatever it'd be titled, I think your consumer base would be huge on the Nintendo Switch, because it's one of those games that I feel like are really nice on, the 2D especially, is really good on the handheld. So hopefully we'll see good sales on the 3DS. Hopefully they market it as the big game of the holiday season. I know Pokemon Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon are coming out as well. So hopefully those two will be like the two big games. But yeah, I don't know. I just really hope that people buy this game, because I am a bit worried that the 3DS is a bit dated now, and people aren't really looking to buy any more software on it now that they have their Nintendo Switch. It's like buying games on your Wii when you have your Wii U, or it's like buying games on your PS3 when you have your PS4, you know? Even though if they were exclusive on the PS3 and you had a PS4, you're still like, well, why couldn't it just be on the new one? Why, you know, and I perfectly understand why it is on the 3DS. It's to hold this over until Metroid Prime 4 and to really get lots of hype back into the franchise and the series. I totally get that, but expecting tons and tons of sales, hopefully they don't expect too much. Metroid Samus Returns will release on the 15th of September in North America and Europe. Okay. Now that is early fall, and I think again, where are you getting most of your sales? Winter season, like right before Christmas. And, you know, I feel like they were expecting a lot of this, and they might not get a lot just because of circumstance. So, I'm going to read some of the biggest and bumped up comments on Retroid. Did you get Retroid? I did Metroid and Reddit at the same time. We're going to read some of the highlights of the comments on Reddit right now. Of course the fans are interested. People have been waiting on a 2D Metroid many years until Samus Returns. Just make one for the Switch. That was hard to read. No truer words have ever been typed by thumbs in the... Wow, okay, so the first comment was written by Reop0526, who said, of course the fans are interested. People have been waiting on a 2D Metroid many years until Samus Returns. Just make one for the Switch. LLL Castle, with 3 L's, says, no truer words have ever been typed by thumbs in the history of man. 2D HD Metroid and Switch is a must-have. If it did well, maybe it'd convince Konami to bring 2D Castlevania. Yes. Okay, but Castle, no true words have ever been typed by the thumbs of history of man. He went in. He is really wild by this comment. That really made me laugh. Anyways, I agree. 2D Metroid would be fantastic on the Switch. Even if they just remade an original of it, I'd be perfectly fine with it. Those games are magic. But a new one, kind of like maybe like a Sonic Mania where it's like old levels and some new levels. I feel like a lot of people are going to mention Sonic Mania as like this big thing. I feel like it had a lot of big impact. Like I think a Metroid Sonic Mania game where it's a remake of old ones would be great. I think a Sonic Mania version of Mario, like the original Mario games, Mario Bros. 1, 2, 3 in the world, remade in some new levels. I think that style of game is really, really cool and interesting. So yeah, hopefully we will see this. Also, the 2D Castlevania thing would be amazing. But yeah. Ooh, okay, so Bloodstained, Ritual of Night is being developed for the Switch by IGA, formerly of Konami and creator of Metroidvania style of Castlevania titles. So that's cool. So I guess we are getting a style of game coming to the Switch. But yes. Okay, let's read some more top comments. This fan is interested. It's shocking that there has been no new titles in 15 years. Longer if you consider Zero as a remake. It's not that shocking when the last 2D Metroid sold way below 1 million. I think now, more than ever, people would buy a 2D Metroid game for some reason just because it's been so long. I think there's a lot of respect for that. I think maybe like 15, 20 years ago, the same type of style maybe got a little bit boring for people, especially in a time where 3D games were really becoming popular, like Mario 64, and the new Metroid Prime that was on the 64, and lots and lots of 3D games were really becoming popular. So at that time, I feel like people were kind of getting bored of 2D games and really wanted 3D games. I think now people appreciate it, 2D titles, more than they did 15 years ago. Call me crazy, but that's what I think. I think there's more respect for that style of game right now than there were a decade or so ago. I am not a fan of 3D and 2D. I'd love to see a rebirth of Super Metroid style like they did with Sonic Mania. Reservoir Tide. Agree with you. I'm going to upvote that one. For sure. What I say, Sonic Mania. NT says, This is so much. When I look at Samus Returns, I get mixed feelings. I'm happy there's a new 2D Metroid, but the graphics and controls don't seem crispy enough. I agree. I like the style of complete 2D Super Metroid style, but more than I like the Samus Returns style. But I still like the Samus Returns style. I just like the original a bit better. 3D games can and should have high resolution graphics, but 2D games don't have to. Make it look just like Super Metroid or Fusion or Zero Mission with only slight changes overall. It doesn't have to be a 2D game rendered in 3D. It's better when it's with just layers and sprites. Agreed. I love a good layer. Look at all successful games in 2D recently. There have been legit SNES era look, Sonic Mania, Stardew Valley, Shovel Knight, you name it. I agree. The success of Shovel Knight is why I say that people appreciate 2D games a lot more. And Shantae, games like that are getting very, very, very high praised. I think that type of style of game is definitely kind of in right now in a weird way, especially in the indie area. And the controls are they all have this, and the controls are crispy and simple. I love the word crispy to define all of this. We don't need 360-degree aiming in 2D side-scrolling games. No 2D Metroid so far had it, and they are all great without it. I doubt that would be an improvement. Yeah, I totally agree. The Sonic Mania direction is a good idea for Metroid, and I do like the Super Metroid style of Metroid the best, but I am open to Samus Returns style for sure. I hope he does, says Kaminashi. As much as I love the Prime games, minus Fed Force, I think everyone can agree with that, I really want more side-scrollers. September 15th can't come soon enough, and I really hope Samus Returns sells well enough to reignite development of more side-scrolling Metroid titles. I lost my beep when they announced a new Metroid release on my birthday. Well, I guess the Cameraman Man is getting Metroid on... Hey, happy birthday on September 15th. Everyone wish the Cameraman 15th birthday of September. Obviously, fans are interested, says Wiggler on Acid. That's an interesting username. But this news is good because it gives Nintendo a chance to say, hey, let's actually do this. Regardless, we're already getting 2 new Metroids. That's right, we're getting a Metroid this year. We're getting a Metroid 2018-2019 with Metroid Prime 4. Hopefully 2020, 2021. The team that's making Samus Returns can start working on Samus Metroid, another Metroid, 2D Metroid game once that's over and released and stuff. Are they the same team? I doubt it, right? I'm sure they're a bit different of a team. But yeah. I think you're going to really see a rebirth of the Metroid series. You're going to see medium to good success with Samus Returns. Then you're going to see, 2019, I bet, is when Samus comes to the Switch. Metroid Prime 4 comes to the Switch in 2019, I would say. Either... maybe holiday, maybe I'm saying that's a little too long, but it's either going to be late 2018 or sometime in 2019. I say 2019 most likely. It's going to be the big title for Nintendo the year it comes out. This is the big return of Metroid. People have been begging this for decades, it feels like, right? So... it feels like people... I have been on the internet, right, as a citizen of the internet since 2009, 2010, I would say. Ever since I joined gaming forums, whether it be Nintendo forums or just general gaming forums online, everyone has been begging for another Metroid game. Ever since I've been deep in the Nintendo community, I have only heard Metroid, 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 we want more Metroid. So I think come 2019, Metroid is going to be the prime, no pun intended, the prime focus of the year that it comes out in. And, yeah. I think it's going to be heavily marketed. It's going to be like Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey or a Pokemon game. Heavily marketed. It's going to sell crazy. It's going to be the big hype release of the year it's in. And I think you're really going to see the revival of Metroid series. You're going to see that game sell great. You're going to probably see some DLC, maybe a multiplayer mode just to give longevity to the game, possibly. Or maybe they'll make a multiplayer Metroid 2, I don't know. But I say 2019 Metroid in the Switch, Metroid Prime 4, and then 2020, 2021, you're going to see tons and tons of love for Metroid Prime 4, and then you're going to see a release, because of that, of a 2D Metroid game. So hopefully everyone, go and buy Samus Returns September 15th. Even buy it in Christmas. I'm sure they're not like, well, it doesn't sell a million copies by day 2, we're not making it. So buy it this holiday season, put it on your Christmas list. I will put it as my main 3DS game along with Ultra Moon. So yes, please continue to support the 3DS. They are still supporting it. I think it's going to be one of the last years this year they do so. But yes, if you are listening to this, the Samus, the Metroids, all the fans, right? Go and buy it. If you're a creator of the game, please make 2D. They're just reading this Metroid thread alone on Reddit. It has 4,300 likes and hundreds of comments, and there's definitely demand there. So thanks for watching. For more Metroid news, Nintendo news, hit the subscribe button. The library is canceled, or closed. Bye.